Alex, what do you see in this team that you guys know and have played a lot over the course of this season, but what do you see in their preparation for the Calder Cup playoffs and the Rochester Americans?
Yeah, I think the way I kind of think about Rochester is they're a pretty dangerous team, especially in transition on the power play. They've got some offensively talented players in every position, and they definitely like to play a transition style game, I think. So definitely excited for that challenge.
How do you guys counter that?
I think for us, it's don't get me wrong, I think we're a team who wants to be good in transition, but I don't think we're a team who wants to trade chances. So I think for us, it's mainly just sticking to our game plan and being pretty defensively stout and then ready to attack from maybe mistakes that we force them to make, stuff like that, based off of our structure. So we're excited for the challenge. I think in the past, sometimes when we don't have success against Rochester, it's because we trade chances. So I think for us, the ultimate message is, can we replicate that, selflessness and commitment to the structure that we had, especially the second two games in Utica? I think if we stick to that recipe, we have a really good chance.
What do you think the biggest thing you guys learned in the first series against Utica?
I already knew it, but it was obviously a rough ending to the season, and I think we all got a taste again of how good of a hockey team we are and how hard we are to beat when we stick to the structure. Ironically, I think the more we stick to our structure, the more we score, because we force the other team to make mistakes and then we get chances, things of that nature. So, I think we're a damn good hockey team when we play the right way and play for each other, and it was definitely fun to snag a couple wins in Utica.
Marshall, you guys know this Rochester team quite well. What do you see in what they do that you guys want to concentrate on?
I think they're a fast team. They got a lot of skill up front. Their wingers are going to blow the zone, so I think it's important to have good offensive gaps against them and sting them early, and that's part of our game plan.
When you talk about countering what they bring, that game that they bring in transition, do you spend more time concentrating on what you guys have brought successfully over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, for sure. I think our forwards have done a lot of good in that first series, and I think we'll look to build off that, but at the same time we want to be prepared, so we'll take the info as it comes and apply it.
One of the things you guys really hung your hat on in that first series was the PK. And it's been good all year, or at least it got to a point where it was great throughout the season. What were you guys doing successfully in that 4 games against Utica?
Yeah, I think guys are just buying into what their role is within the PK, and I think we're being really aggressive. And I think some of our vets are stepping up with some big block shots, and I think that kind of filters through the whole team.
What do you think the biggest thing, maybe for you, what did you learn specifically about the first series in the AHL, first playoff series?
Just how you have to stay present and focus on your next shift. If you do something good or bad, you just staying present, because there's ebbs and flows to a series, and trying to manage my emotions that way.
Just what did you think overall, like every guy contributed? There wasn't just one person who was, out of it points-wise or anything. Just what was that part like, seeing that as a team?
That's great. That's what you want. We have a lot of good players in that room, and we feel really confident with the group we have. So that's kind of what we expected.
Greg, you know this team extremely well, coaching staff right through to the players. A lot of games against them this year. What do they bring, the Rochester Americans, into this playoff series?
Certainly a lot of offensive power. They're really good scoring off the rush. They play really fast. They have a lot of skilled players. They have a lot of slippery skill, especially off the rush. So it's going to be a good test for us. They play a high-tempo quality of hockey, and so it'll be a good challenge.
What do you counter with?
Hopefully more of the same of what we did against Utica, relying on our identity and playing our team plan so that we stay connected and make it hard for them to play in motion.
Alex Steeves pointed out you can't go toe-to-toe with them if you want to match them, blow for blow offensively. Chances to limit that? Do you feel you limited that in Utica and can limit this against Rochester?
We certainly were able to do that. And that's why we had a lot of success in the series against Utica. I'd say throughout the year against Rochester, we didn't do as well of a job at that. So that'll be one big key element for us, is playing consistently the way we did in this first round. Obviously, there'll be some tweaks here and there in terms of what they are and their personnel and their structure, but overall, our mindset for how we need to play needs to be the same.
What's the biggest thing, maybe, I don't know if learning is the right word because you've been around the team the whole season, but what stood out about your team specifically to come back and win the series overall?
Well, I didn't feel like we came back at any point. We got game one, they went one game two, but I felt as though we were in good control of the series for the most part all the way through, and our team really bought into doing the things that we needed to do for winning habits. Like I said, it's going to be more of the same. There's a big focus on really what we're doing and making sure that our players, which I feel in the room, have really bought into what it takes to win in the playoffs. And there's types of sequences that we need to create to win in the playoffs.
And Eric Shalgren, just how, or maybe not how, but what stood out about his game to be able to, find these wins for you guys?
He was consistent. He played really well. Came in and, he looked calm and settled in a playoff atmosphere, and his skating allows him to get the pucks quickly and get his feet set, square to pucks. I really liked his mentality and his attack approach to the games that he came in and played.
Greg, in what ways has Logan Shaw grown from when he first came here to now helping your team in the playoffs?
That's a good question in terms of growth. I'm sure I see, anyway, a more confident player in person. What he's been able to accomplish all year in terms of a leader for our team off the ice and on the ice, and then just his on-ice play, points, first power play, top penalty kill pair, one of our top face-off guys. There's so many things he does on the ice that should also have given him confidence throughout the year to be a big part of this team. And I just really like his approach from day one of what his objective was here, being a Marlie, and his goal to make a run in the playoffs and help lead this team.
And building on that, just why do you think, this year in particular, it's been his best season, thus far in the AHL?
It's a good question. It's hard to point a lot of answers to it. I know as a staff, we targeted him to come in. Ryan Hardy did a good job finding and getting Logan Shaw, as a piece of our puzzle, a big piece that, looking back at it now. But in the offseason, knowing after doing some homework who he was as a player, what he can do on the ice, and empowering Logan to come in and be that. I think he took on to it really well, and it's more the work that he's put in and the mindset he's driven for himself that's given him the success, but it's really hard to key in on just a couple things.